Morality without a mask. This is a title about the discussion of the Dissertation III in the work by Friedrich Nietzsche on the genealogy of morality, a polemic. So, we start with a criticism of Christian values. Friedrich Nietzsche's On the Genealogy of Morality offers us the example of an essay in which an analysis and a critique of Christian values and a radical rethinking are put in place. It must be said from the start that these works' interpretations are contradictory and don't allow us to form a clear-cut opinion easily. The Genealogy of Morality is a treatise that deals with the origin of moral concepts, and it supposes that morality as such is a product of man. It is then a search for the cause and a description of the effects, aiming at understanding the possibility of independent existence of moral values. Nietzsche wants to destroy certain values, but he intends to produce new ones or to reaffirm lost ones. Some Nietzsche detractors have come to say that he is doing nothing but replacing Christian dogmatism with his own dogmatism. By remaining within a form of nihilism, in fact, he would not have been able to overcome the metaphysics that he claims to be destroying. The notions of value and nihilism according to Martin Heidegger. Martin Heidegger immediately puts us in the face of a fundamental distinction regarding the notion of nihilism. Namely, he distinguishes between unfinished and complete nihilism. Unfinished nihilism replaces previous values with new values, in the same place as the ancients, that is, in the supersensible. The achieved nihilism must eliminate the traditional place of values, i.e., nihilism as a region in itself. It has to put values differently, flip them. We learn then that the first kind of nihilism is based on a new principle, meanwhile the second one is based on a new region. Values reversal is at the same time a transformation of gender and of the way of being. As for the value, Heidegger writes, value is value as it is worth, and it is worth as it is given as what matters. Point of view in regard to and the visual field, they all imply here seeing, a seeing in a sense derived from the Greeks, but passing through the transformation of the idea from eidos to perception. The visual angle is the value. We are therefore able to say that value as a point of view is a set from a partial place, determined and in function of this place. In other words, value depends on our interpretation. The being of things is therefore in relation to evaluation we make. Assuming that the interpretation that Heidegger gives us of Nietzsche is valid, we say that value is that specific viewpoint that influences the preservation and growth of life. Values are formed by the will to power. What we have just reported on the notion of value and that of nihilism allows us to advance more determinedly in defining the Nietzschean criticism of Christian values. He starts from the principle that the moral phenomenon is an interpretation and, as such, it is open to various other understandings from perspectives that are projected from another place, namely that of Nietzsche. Moral phenomena are therefore reinterpreted. Reflection on the origin of moral values brings our author to the discovery that they are in fact based on nothingness, hence the nihilism. Christian values are re-evaluated from within his path toward truth. In fact, Nietzsche answers to this need, and this desire of truth leads him to seek it without limitations. Although the truth is not easily acceptable, once faced with it, one should not close his eyes. Some crucial points in Nietzsche's discussion. First, Nietzsche criticized the philosophy and the scientific knowledge of his age. He observes that the men of science pursue their research activity solely outside man, without knowing themselves, without advancing one step in inner knowledge. The starting point, then, is precisely to give priority to the knowledge of man. That said, we need to add that Judeo-Christian morality and its unmasking are the central topic of this and numerous other works of the German philosopher. It should be noted that, in fact, this idea and the will to create a new morality that can recover the ancient values of the aristocracy are present not only in the Genealogy, but also in the book Beyond Good and Evil, the Freiliche Wissenschaft, in English, The Happy Science, and Thus Spoke Zarathustra. As we already have observed, the value of morality is questionable. It is not given to us once and for all, and our task does not exhaust itself in a simple and passive acceptance of traditional values. The latter has only priorities in relation to its effects, and in Kantian terms it is expressed by Nietzsche as a denial of a priori in morality. It is no coincidence that Kant is often criticized in the Genealogy. The problem that then finds a first definition in the following questions. First, in what conditions has man invented for his use these criteria of evaluation, that is, good and evil? 2. What value do they have in themselves? 3. Did these evaluation criteria really encourage humanity's progress? And 4. Are they a symptom of abatement, of vital impoverishment, of the decadence? And finally, 5. Do they betray the fullness, the strength, and the will to live, the courage, and the confidence in the future of life? Nietzsche's answer is that Christian morality would be a morality of decadence, of the slave, of the flock. In fact, according to him, the most general types of decadence are believing to choose remedies while one is actually choosing what accelerates the exhaustion. 2. Loss of resistance to excitement and becoming prey of chance. Like gross and colossal incidents occur in the presence of a depersonalization and a conflictual will. The cause is confused with the effects. It is not understood that decadence is physiological and its consequences are the true cause of malaise. One aspires to a condition in which there will be no more suffering. Life is perceived as a cause of evils. The states of unconsciousness and insensitivity, sleep, faintness, are considered infinitely higher than the states of conscience. And 5th, Christian values would be found on this decadence and on this nihilism. In fact, Nietzsche explains the course of Western history metaphysically. For him, our history represents the birth and development of nihilism, as this would be its internal logic. This nihilism is unveiled as such to the modern man when he becomes aware of the true nature of the traditional values, and he recognizes precisely the nothing on which they were founded. From here to acknowledge the death of God, the passage is short. God is dead means that religion has ceased to be worthy of faith. God is dead. It is from this proposition that, according to Heidegger, it is possible to recognize the God of Christianity, exactly when Nietzsche speaks of the death of God. Moreover, as most of the metaphysical, moral, and religious tendencies deriving from decadence are crystallized in the system that is Christianity, this reveals itself as nihilism.